Hi everyone, this is Canny Couple. I'm Julia, Aaron's behind the camera, and today I want to give you our week 4 meal plan and prep for the hashtag 3 Rivers Pantry Challenge. But before we get started, we would really appreciate it if you hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. So this week is a super simple week, especially for dinner. All we're doing is a turkey. We'll be eating half of it and putting half of it away. I started that this morning, and Aaron's going to show you the clip of how we put that together in the crock pot early this morning. Now, here I'm adding Redmond's real salt, some pepper, garlic, some vegetable stock that is in powder form, a cup of water, and some bacon grease. The turkey is a little large for my crock pot, but I am able to make it work, and it tasted amazing. And all this seasoning was really easy to put together for this turkey. So my turkey's been cooking all day on high in the crock pot. Now I'm going to show you the rest of our meal prep. So what we are doing for dinner is actually, we're keeping it really simple. I went to my shelf that I have all the things I'm trying to use up, and I pulled out these 2 quinoa and brown rice blends. And we like quinoa and we like rice. So this is rosemary and olive oil and garlic and basil. And I'm just going to cook them together. Why not? Who doesn't like rosemary, garlic, and basil together? And olive oil. That sounds pretty good to me. So I'm going to cook these together in a pot here a little bit later. And then I've also got here a trambuccino and some sweet potatoes. Now, I did a trambuccino last week, but I had one when I went down and did my weekly squash check. Looked like I needed to get it. So it wasn't soft yet, but it did have a bad spot on it, and I knew it was going to rot. So that's why we're doing trambuccino. And we'll go ahead and get started with these. So I have some honey that I started in hot water. I just set it in some hot water to try to get it to soften up a bit. And we are going to add it, if I can get it open. Oh yeah, that helped that bit. It's still a little hard, but that's okay. We don't need much. It's trambuccino and sweet potatoes. We're just going to get enough. And we actually found last week when we ate this,
That's
the best way.
Yeah, this is our favorite way with trambuccino we've found so far. I mean, it's trambuccino's okay. But
I bake with it, and you can't tell.
right.
But I go to eat it by itself. We can tell we're not terribly fond of it. I'm going to add some salt, because it's potatoes and everything can use a little bit of salt. It's Redmond's real salt. And now I'm going to add some nutmeg. Now we need to figure out how to spice it. So I'm always a big fan of nutmeg, especially with something that's got a natural sweetness to it. And nutmeg will be something I go to pretty regularly. So put a good bit of nutmeg in there. We're just going to give it a stir, and we're going to bake this in the oven till it's soft, fork tender, and we'll show you what that looks like after it cooks a bit. Give it a few more stirs here. It does smell nice. I love nutmeg. Nutmeg's one of my favorites when it comes to baking and cooking. I feel like it's underutilized because it can be a bit spicy, but it is one of my absolute favorites. So that's it for that. We're keeping it super simple. So dinner, crazy simple. Now let's go to lunch. Lunch is one of my favorites. We're pure Southern here. It is mac and tomatoes. So, mac and tomatoes is any type of pasta that you like. Any type of pasta. We are using what we have. I'd rather have macaroni type of pasta, but we're using rigatoni. It's cooked super al dente because we're going to put it back on to cook more. That's hot. And that's all you do to it. All it is pasta. And I've got a little bit of pasta water in the bottom of this, so it'll help adhere. And then I'm doing, as I do 2 boxes, I'm doing 2 quarts and a pint of tomatoes to make sure there's enough tomato sauce in there. We're just going to pop our jars. I always do a sniff test with my tomatoes every time. Don't not do a sniff test. Because it will let you know if it's bad quicker than anything else. They're all good. And then we're just going to pour them in there. I'll tell you, this is probably the simplest, easiest recipe in my book of recipes. But it's one of our favorites. It's one of the best, and it's one of the things I don't season at all.
That's very true.
There's very little seasoning. Salt, pepper. But it is so good. And you can make it with store-bought tomatoes.
It's just not as good.
It's not as good. And I know a lot of people, especially if you've never had it, like I grew up with this.
Yeah, me too.
I grew up with this. It's one of my favorites. It's just so simple. And it actually need another jar of tomatoes. I can tell you looking at that. I'm going to need another jar of tomatoes. So I'm on hold for a second. I'm going to go get another jar. Okay, so I'm back. I got another quart and I got another pint that I had made just to make sure I have enough. I love home canned tomatoes. It just nothing smells so good. And you can add sugar. Most southern recipes are going to tell you to add sugar to this. I stopped adding sugar a long time ago.
It don't need it.
It doesn't need it. If your tomatoes are sweet enough, you don't need the sugar. What do you think now, Aaron? If we need more?
Wouldn't hurt to put that other little pint in.
That's what I thought. So technically it took me about 4 quarts.
Yep.
Which is fine. I've got the tomatoes to use, and if we're going to use them.
Great way.
This is a great way to use them. This was a tomato sauce, so it'll be a bit more saucy. God, it's going to be so good. And Isabel loves this.
Oh, yeah.
And you want your pasta to be not all the way cooked. And you want to make this and set. Now it's perfect. You're going to put it in the refrigerator overnight.
It's not good hot.
It's not good hot. It's good hot.
Good, but not the first day.
It's not good the first day. It's good the first day. It's not amazing. It gets better the longer you let it sit. And I'm hitting it with probably a teaspoon of pepper. Where it's a grinder, you don't get as much. And I'm going to hit it with a couple of shakes of salt. Give it another quick stir. And then we're just going to let it simmer on a low heat probably for about 30 minutes. It actually might be one Aaron will taste test tomorrow, if he can. One of us will taste test later because it is not as good first day as it is the next day. It just isn't. It really is one of those recipes that you kind of have to let just sit in the refrigerator. Kind of like how lasagna tastes better the next day. Okay, I've got that on the stove. Now it's just going to simmer on probably 2 or 3, and then it'll be done for about an hour. Okay, next. Move some stuff out of the way. Making breakfast. Keeping breakfast super simple. I had these meal kits, that I got. And it's a holiday chocolate peppermint donut kit. I'm not making a holiday chocolate peppermint donut. Aaron won't eat a peppermint donut. So we are going to make powdered sugar chocolate donuts. But I didn't buy it for the donut mix. I bought it for these things. Because we like donuts, but I don't like frying anything. If you have noticed, our channel, we don't fry food.
And we got those last Christmas for 50
Nothing,
cents
90% off.
Oh, it was 90, so it's probably even cheaper than 50 cents a box.
Yeah, super, super cheap. We paid hardly anything. So I'm going to make the mix per the instructions. I'm going to cook it the way it says. This is really basic. And I'll go ahead and cook it and show you all what it looks like. We'll mix it together because you have to mix it and then let it rest. But I have my mix and egg in here. So it calls for an egg per package. There was 3. And I'm sorry, I'm about to sneeze. I'm about to sneeze, so please excuse me. It's allergy season on our homestead. It's this weather. It calls for 2 tablespoons per box of mix. So I need to do 6 tablespoons of oil. Oops. I'll cut this next one back a little bit. Okay, throw that over there to be washed. I milk. It called for 1/2 cup of milk per box, so I have 1.5 cups of milk. Let me get this covered up. And then we're just going to whisk it all together slowly, of course, because we don't want to mess. So, tell them why you don't like peppermint.
It just tastes bad with chocolate. I mean, I hate peppermint with chocolate. Any kind of mint, like mint chocolate, anything. Ugh.
He's not a fan, so I knew I didn't need to. But I knew that when I saw these, I wanted these molds. And I'm surprised at the size. I actually expected them to be smaller. I think Aaron did too.
Yeah, I did.
Expected them to be baby molds, or I probably would have just gotten 2. But this works out good. This is a great breakfast. I'll make some fruit with it. Open up a can of blueberries for Aaron. Open up a can of apples for me and Isabel. It'll be wonderful. Or pears. Me and Isabel might have pears. We like pears. We're just going to keep mixing until it's fully incorporated. And it said on here that we fill these 3/4 of the way full. And then we let this rest and we bake them. How long do we bake them? 11 to 13 minutes. And this is supposed to make 12 per batch. So we'll have a few donuts for breakfast. But I needed to use this up. I had to get rid of this stuff. I needed to get rid of it so badly. I'm really trying to do very good this time in the Pantry Challenge. And I will say, we are using up some stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not using up as much of like my canned goods as I thought. But Aaron's a little worried about the snacks.
Well, one thing we definitely forgot to mention is the grocery budget for this week
Oh yeah, it was nothing.
was nothing because we couldn't get out due to the snow.
And we didn't get an ad to see what the sale prices were.
Yeah, we haven't gotten our mail in a week. So
We've gotten the most snow we've gotten in a really, really long time.
probably
for
3
us.
years worth since last time, something like this big for us. So that kept us, I mean, if we needed to, we probably could have got out, but we didn't need to. So that's why our grocery budget is $0 this week, and you won't see a grocery budget short.
And this is another reason for a working pantry.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to go out. I have what I need to make do. And why we stress the importance of not just an emergency pantry, but a working pantry. My working pantry is my emergency pantry. All right, we're gonna let this sit and rest while the oven preheats at 350. And then the other thing I'm making this week is I'm gonna try Jell-O with the baby. We're gonna see. I don't have high hopes for this, so
I don't either.
Aaron might be eating some Jell-O because we're at that stage where some days we eat like a pig and some days we don't. We'll see what happens. But that's what we're doing this week. We'll come back and show you just a little bit what it looks like when it's all done.
Okay, so finished product. Here are the donuts. They look amazing. They smell good too. Okay, let's start off with lunch. Mac and tomatoes. Good. You can tell it just needs to sit a little bit longer.
That's it. That's all they need. They'll be so good tomorrow.
Looks really good. Okay.
I changed the plan on these. I actually used the turkey drippings.
Oh, in the rice, yeah.
Yeah.
That's really good together.
Is it?
It is.
I was worried it was going to be too oily, but it's good.
Mm-hmm. They're good. And then I made some homemade barbecue sauce to go with the turkey.
Super easy one.
Yep. You're right, that one was really good.
It turned out really good once it cooked a bit.
I tried to make a sweet one in case the little one wanted some of it. Really good. Okay.
How's it with the nutmeg?
Can't really taste it.
Can't really taste it. I went light.
Very light.
Do I need to go heavier on the nutmeg?
I don't know. I can taste the honey though.
Taste the honey. It's good.
Yeah.
She's okay. She's fussing with her food.
Oh my.
Are they good?
Those are really good. Those are really good.
Good meal this week.
Tastes like the chocolate powdered donuts, you know, you get. Those are good. I got a long way to chew, so if you want to end it.
You can check us out on our link tree for all of our other content. And if you have any questions, please email us or leave a comment below. Our email is thecannycouple@yahoo.com. And as always, thank you for joining us with the Canny Couple, where we work hard, live simple, and enjoy life. Have a wonderful day.